Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this particular session, we are going to discuss number of questions based on Macmillan book, and basically we will discuss the questions from Indian economy and Indian financial system. Okay, so Indian economy and Indian financial system, which is your first topic or first subject, which you are going to face on 8th of October 2023 for upcoming examination. So, if you talk about it, particularly about this particular session, so here we will discuss questions based on Macmillan book. Okay, so if you go through the Macmillan book, so this is one of the best book for JAIIB preparation. For every subject, they have different books. Okay, so like now in this particular session, we will go through the entire questions from module A, which are generally part of Macmillan book. Okay, so first of all, like if you have query, like let's say if you plan for GIB 2024 or 25 or any year, so this is one of the best book for Indian economy and Indian financial system. If you see the questions which were asked in May 2023 examination, so you will see they generally ask question based on books only. Okay, so today we will discuss question based on module A. And if you talk about module A, so these are the topics under module A. So in module A, which include an overview to Indian economy, or an overview of Indian economy. Second topic is sectors of Indian economy. Then we have economic planning in India and Niti Aayog. Then we have role of priority sector and MSMEs in India. Then fifth one is infrastructure, including social infrastructure. Sixth one is globalization, impact on India. Then we have economic reforms, foreign trade policy, foreign investments, and economic development. Ninth one is international economic organizations like IMF, World Banks, and all. Then we have climate change, sustainable development goals, and the 11th one is issue facing Indian economy. So basically, these are the 11 unit which are generally part of module A in Indian economy and Indian financial system. Okay, so first I'll show you the detailed syllabus of all subject, like all units. Okay, so like this is our very first unit. So what comes under first unit, and this is the detail, these are the topics which are generally part of unit 1, and the questions which are generally framed by like those are generally part of Macmillan book, which we will also cover in this particular session. Okay, so now like my point is, if you compare these particular questions with the May 2023 examination, so these all are basic type of questions. Okay, so like let's say if you divide level 1, level 2, level 3, so these are the like very basic questions which are generally part of if you see the examinations. So you will get advanced question or statement based question in your examination. So this is just for your reference. Okay, like what is the entire syllabus or what type of questions which are generally part of this particular book. Okay, so an overview of Indian economy, which include these particular subtopics like evolution of Indian economy. Then we have basic characteristics of Indian economy pre British period. Then we have economy till 2008 and after 2008. Structural changes in Indian economy. So these are the subtopics in your module A unit first. Okay, and now we will practice questions which are which basically given in your module A unit 1 Macmillan book. Okay, so first question on your screen: contribution of which sector is maximum in to the Indian economy. So whenever we talk about sectors of economy, so we have three sectors. These are like primary sector, which deal with agriculture and allied activities. Secondary sector, which deal with manufacturing industries, and third one is tertiary, or which is also called service sector, which deal with service activities. Okay, like banking, insurance, and all. These are generally part of service sector. Now the question is based on maximum contribution which is done by which sector. So your answer will be service sector. So for this one, your answer will be option C is the correct answer for this one. Now, like if they ask you question like on which sector we have maximum dependency, then your answer will change to primary sector. Okay? So on primary sector we have maximum dependency. About 44% of India's population which generally depend on primary sector. And even if you talk about the employment wise also, around or we can say about 45% people, they generally get employments from the agriculture. Okay, so contribution wise, like if you talk about the overall GDP size, so the maximum contribution in Indian economy which is done by tertiary sector, okay, which include banking, information technology, telecommunications, insurance, or restaurant business, and all these service businesses. Okay, next question. In terms of GDP purchasing power parity, India ranked at in the world in 2022 as per IMF World Economic Outlook Report. So World Economic Outlook Report, which is generally released by IMF, and as per 2022, India stand at third position. Okay, so what will be a correct answer? Option B will be correct answer for this particular one. Okay? If you talk about the first rank holder, it is China. So Chinese currency yuan or renminbi is which is having which is one of the strongest currency as per purchasing power parity, and in second that generally belongs to US dollar, and third one is Indian economy. If you talk about the GDP wise, so US is world like largest economy and India's rank is fifth one. Okay, so like both the side we have different numbers. So as per PPP we stand at third position, and as per GDP we stand at fifth position. Okay, so next question. As per the Angus Medition database, India share global GDP was in 1600 AD. So it was like India's shares of world GDP was that time, like we share about 23% of world GDP that time. Okay? 1600 AD. Okay? The question, like the point is very base, and this is generally based on your like GDP data. Okay. As per the World Bank classification, Indian economy is which type of economy? So we are lower middle income economy. Okay? So option B will be correct answer for this particular one. Lower middle income group economy, that is generally categorized. Like World Bank, they have different categorization like high income, upper middle, lower middle, and low income. So India stand at lower middle income group. Okay, so these are the questions based on your unit 1. Let's move to the unit 2. So unit 2, sector of Indian economy. So role and importance of primary, secondary, and tertiary, and quaternary and quinary sectors. Then we have differences between the sectors, difference revolution in primary sector, GDP contribution of different sectors, agriculture, industry, service, employment growth rate in the secondary sector, sunrise sector of Indian economy, organized and unorganized sectors. So these are generally subtopics under your unit 2. Okay, so let's see the questions based on unit 2 subtopics. So first question, which is not a component of primary sector? So primary sector which deal with agriculture and allied activities. Okay, so construction is generally not part of this particular one. So option A will be correct answer for this particular question. So agriculture, fishing, or forestry, these all are generally part of agriculture sector or primary sector. Second question. Then quaternary sectors. Quaternary sectors is part of, like these are basically service sectors. If you talk about the quaternary service sectors is part of, so what will be your correct answer? It is part of service sector. Okay, services like IT services and all, technology and all, so they generally categorize under quaternary services. So option B will be correct answer for this particular one. Okay? So like we provide like financial planning services or like these kind of services now, which portfolio based services and all, they generally comes under this particular category of service sector. Okay, next one. Bank revolution is connected to, so sorry, black revolution is connected to, so these are something related to different revolution in agricultures. Okay, so black revolution is something related to petroleum, so option C will be correct answer. If you talk about the pearls and eggs, so they are generally part of grey revolutions, and like we have green revolution for agriculture, so they are generally part of that particular one. Which sector contribute most in national output, GDP? So the question is, which sector contribute maximum? So we already discussed this particular question in your module unit A also. So what will be your correct answer? Service sector. Okay. So contribution, like we have maximum contribution from service sector, tertiary sector, and we can say third sector. And if you talk about the dependency, so we have maximum dependency on agriculture. Okay, which sector provide maximum employment in India? So now you got this particular question. So what will be your correct answer? Agriculture. So about 45% of India's population, or India's employment, that generally happen with this particular sector. Okay, so agriculture is like agriculture or allied activities. So like about 45% people, they are generally involved in agriculture and allied activities. Okay, so that's why option A is the correct answer for this one. I hope you guys are getting an idea about the like what is your overall study from this particular unit, and from this particular subject, as well as the detailed syllabus of each and every unit, and the basic question which are generally part of your Macmillan book. Okay, so now we have unit third, which is something related to planning and Niti Aayog. So previously we have this planning commission, now it is converted into Niti Aayog from 1st January 2015. Okay, so previously we used to have that 5-year plans. Okay, so first 5-year plan was launched in 1951. It will generally last till 1956, 1951 to 56. The last 5-year plan was 12 5-year plan from 2012 to 2000. Basically the timing was 17, but it was closed in 2015. Then we came up with this Niti Aayog. Okay, so definition of economic planning, then we have type of planning, objective of economic planning, history of economic planning. So this is again important one. Assessment of 5-year plan performance, this is again very important one. Okay, then we have National Institute for Transforming India, Niti Aayog, which is the most important in this particular unit, and financial resources for economic plans. So these are some subtopics under this particular unit. So let's practice some question based on this unit also. Okay, so first question, which among the following contribute the most uh, to plan financing in India, of India? So basically before this 2015, when before Niti Aayog, we used to have plan and non-plan expenditures which were generally part of our budget. So plan expenditure are generally expenditure on 5-year plans, and non-plan is basically they are generally other expenditures. Okay, so it is generally part of domestic budgetary sources. So option plan expenditure, which is generally part of your domestic budgetary sources. Okay, next one, who is the chairman of Niti Aayog? So this post is belongs to Prime Minister of India. So what will be your correct answer? Prime Minister. And the current Prime Minister is Shri Narendra Modi, and the first Prime Minister, first chairman of Niti Aayog is also Shri Narendra Modi, because like in 2014 Narendra Modi ji become Prime Minister of India. So from that time to till, so he is the Prime Minister of India. So this chairman post of Niti Aayog, previously in case of planning commission, so again the chairman post belongs to Prime Minister. Okay, so now like the first 5-year plan was launched in 1951 and it was established in 1950 planning commission. So that time also Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the chairman of planning commission, because he was the Prime Minister of India that time. Okay, next one, what was the period of ninth 5-year plan? So you have to go through these particular numbers, like first 5-year plan 1951 to 56, then after 61 to 62, this way. Okay, last 5-year plan was 2012 to 17. So they asked ninth, so you can reverse the data. Okay, so last one was 12 to 17, then 11th one was 7 to 12, then आपका 10th one was 2 to 7. So ninth one is 1997 to 2002. So this way you can calculate and you can quickly mark the answers for these kind of questions. Okay, next one, Garibi Hatao, elevate poverty, or poverty elevation is was the motto of which 5-year plan? It was part of fifth 5-year plan. Sorry. So actually I guess they did some mistake in this one, so it should be fifth. So if it is fifth, so your answer will be option C. So it was part of fifth 5-year plan, and it was trailed by Indira Gandhi ji. Okay, so they come up with this particular idea. So fifth 5-year plan will be correct answer for this particular one. Next unit, guys. Role of priority sector and MSMEs in Indian economy. This part is again very important one, because like if we talk about the priority sector, so we have like government, they have categorized 8 sectors as a priority sector, and we have some special landing norms for these particular one, and these guidelines are generally given by RBI in consultation with Government of India. So like agriculture, MSMEs, or this like housing development, education, infrastructure, renewable energy. These all are generally part of the priority sector. Okay, so we have 8 categories under priority sector, and like the basic guidelines. Suppose that if there is a like domestic commercial bank, they have to lend 40% of their A and BC adjusted net bank credit to the priority sector, and RRBs, they have to lend 75%. Cooperative banks, their limits is going to increase by 2024. They'll also lend 75%. So this way, like we have number of guidelines for these particular sectors, and government is or RBI is generally trying to make sure ki we like these are the 8 important areas for Indian economy. So we should commit a proper or timely credit for this particular area. Okay. So these sectors or this norms towards the priority sector, they are very important. And the another one is MSME, which is one of the emerging area in Indian economy. If you see the current government's policies, so like scheme like PLI and other schemes, so they are generally funding this particular area. Okay, MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises, and government is generally making like this scheme like Make in India and Made in India and all now. So we are generally trying to become a manufacturing hub in the global market. Okay. So that's why this particular sector, which is something related to current situation as well, or the current scenario of Indian economy. So that's why they become very important one. Okay. So we have definition, role of priority sector, list of priority sectors, priority sector lending norms, MSME, role of significance of MSME, contribution of MSME in GDP, and we have initiative towards MSME like Atmanirbhar Bharat package during 2020 21, that COVID time, and we have Make in India, Startup India, Stand Up India. So there are so many schemes toward this particular sector. Okay, so let's practice few questions based on Macmillan book. So which among the following is not part of priority sector? As I told you, we have 8 sector in this one, and this question was like similarly there was one question which were asked in May 2023 examination. Maybe this time also they'll ask some question based on this. Okay, so information technology is not part of priority sector. Okay, but remaining social infrastructure, agriculture, MSMEs, these all are generally part of the priority sector. Question 2, as per the new identification of MSME, investment in plant and machinery equipments does not exceed to for a micro enterprise. So what will be correct answer? So it is based on it is for micro. So for micro it is 1 crore, for medium it is 10 crores, and for micro then for small it is 10 crore, sorry, micro 1 crore, small 10 crore, and medium it is 50 crore. So these are the guidelines as per the new definition which is given to the MSMEs. Okay, which is not one of the pillars of the Make in India program. So new processes, new infrastructure, and new governments. Okay, so new sectors. So if you talk about this particular one, so it is like option C, new government is generally not part of this. So new Make in India, which is new sectors, identifying these particular sector, new infrastructure and new processes to build processes for that particular one. Next one, which among the following is not part of PLI? So PLI, production link incentive program, this is again very important one. As of now we have 14 areas or 14 type of businesses which are generally part of this particular scheme, and government, they are generally providing heavy subsidies to this particular through this particular schemes to manufacturers. Okay, so it is something related to manufacturer or production related. Okay, and every time, like if you'll see the budget of last year and last to last year or this year, so you'll definitely find something about PLI scheme. Okay, so pharmaceutical is part of this, specialty steel is part of this, food production is this, agriculture is not part of this. So what will be your correct answer? Option D will be right answer for this one. This is something related to production of these, like mobile phone manufacturing. The recent one is drone manufacturing is also part of this one. Okay, so mobile the chip making and all, so these are basically part of this particular one. Agriculture is generally not part of this particular scheme. Unit 5, which is something related to infrastructure including social infrastructure. So infrastructure including social infrastructure, infrastructure and economic development, energy, power, transport system, so rail and others and all, concept of social and social infrastructure, health education, family welfares, and development of health and health of infrastructure. Okay, health and infrastructure, sorry. So these are also, like if we talk about the social infrastructure. Okay, so again this is very important part, and it was part of our last 2 to 3 budgets. Okay, so again there are number of schemes and all which are generally part of, which are generally related to this one. So you have to update your current knowledge for these particular subjects. So this Indian economy and Indian financial system is like a, like it's a, in this particular subject you have to prepare your fundamentals as well as your current knowledge towards these particular topics. Okay, so first one is, which among the following is not a hard infrastructure? So healthcare is not part of hard infrastructure, remaining like roads, transports, airports and all these part of this one. Which among the following is not a green infrastructure? So national highways are generally not a green infrastructure. Wildlife sanctuaries, bird sanctuaries, tiger reserve, all these are generally green sanctuaries. Okay, green infrastructure. Which among the following is not a pillar of National Education Policy 2020? So the basically this policy was launched in 2020. So there is some mistake, I guess. So National Education Policy 2020, which was which has basically 4 pillars. One is accessibility to all. Another one is equity, accountability. Okay, quantity is not part of this. Okay, so quantity is not part of this. It is quality. Okay, instead of this quantity, it is quality. So quality will be, if there is quality, then all are correct. Okay, so we have 4 pillars of National Education Policy 2020. Okay, or new education policy. Next one, dash is the crores and core and fundamentals goal of family welfare program in India. So it is population management. Okay, so family welfare, it is something related to population management. Next unit, guys, it is about globalization. Again, very important one. Okay, so globalization and advocacy, globalization and impact on India, fair globalization, need for policy framework, globalization in reverse gear. So these are some topic under this particular one. So let's say first question, globalization is defined as a rise in dash among nations. So it is a economic integration. Okay, so globalization means it's a economic integrations, basically where economies are interacting and they are exchanging their resources. Okay, so that is globalization. Which organization popularized the globalization concept in mid 1980s? So it was IE&IFS. Okay, International Monetary Fund. So option C will be correct answer for this one. Which among the following is not a benefit of globalization? So technology transfer, yes. Job creation, yes. Economic development, yes. Political stability. So it is not part of the globalization. Remaining technology, job, economic. So these all are generally part of globalization. Which among the following is not a protectionism measure? So which of the following is not a protectionism measure? So tariff are generally part of this, quotas are generally part of this, the non-tariff is also part of this. So increase in capital account convertibility is generally part of is not part of protectionism. Okay, so protectionism basically, like these are like, sometime I hope you heard about, like whenever we frame our foreign trade policies now, So we can negotiate with countries. Suppose that India is importing maximum from China. Okay. So whenever we are framing our foreign trade policy, we can tell them like if we are importing this much of quantity from your country, so you should also import these things from our country instead of importing some other countries. Okay. So if they are not doing this, so we can use these tariff quotas and all. And like I hope you heard about this thing so many times, like especially during the Diwali and Holi, we will ban China as an atom and all. So for that particular one also, we like to support Made in India campaign. We increase tariffs on Chinese import or some other like import of like drones and all these kind of things. So they generally part of this one. Okay, okay. Next one, guys. Okay, just a minute. Chalo. So next question on your screen, economic reforms. So whenever we talk about economic reforms, so like first time it was 1991, the new economic policy, which is also known as LPG model. Through LPG model, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Okay, so we have economic reforms. Overview, transformation, economic transformation, financial sector, real estate, integration with global economies, and reforms in India. So first one, which is not one of the primary pillar of 1991 economic reforms. So it was based on LPG models. It is called LPG model. So liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So this was the time when like we were facing some crisis. That time our foreign exchange reserve was only 10 million US dollars. Okay, so it was very hard to do the imports, like 10 billion US dollars. Sorry. So now we have around 700 billion US dollars. So with this amount, we can do import for next 18 months. But that time our condition was very poor. So government, the Narasimha Rao was the prime minister and finance minister was Manmohan Singh sir. So they generally launched a scheme. They generally opened up India's economy. So they come up with liberalization. So they generally ended the red tape system, or they generally make our policies more liberal. And privatization, government start giving license to private entities, and globalization, we start interacting with world economies. So what will be a correct answer? This was not part of this, so option A will be correct answer for this particular one. Okay, next one. Narasimha Committee on financial sector reforms is related to, so it was related to banking 1998. It was formed in 1998. So it is something related to reforms in banking sector, which is not a part of supervisory reforms of camels. So camels, this rating agency or this rating tool was introduced by Basel. So nowadays we do not use camel, we use inroads. Okay, Indian risk oriented dynamic rating system, which is inroads. Okay, so camels, which was introduced by Basel, or like it was introduced by BCBS, Basel Committee on Banking Supervision. So it stands for C for capital adequacy, A for asset quality, M for management, E for earnings, L for liquidity, S for sensitivity to market risk. Okay, so not part, so it is capital adequacy, yes. Asset quality, earnings, merger is generally not part of this one. Okay, so liquidity is also part of this one. So camels, capital adequacy, A for asset quality, M for management, E for earnings, L for liquidity, and S for sensitivity to market risk. So these are generally part, this is the acronyms of camels. Do remember this one. And inroads, Indian risk oriented dynamic rating system, which we generally adopted in 2013. So we are using that particular parameter to judge the performances of banks. Okay, next one. Which among the following is not an instrument used by Indian corporate sectors to assess funds from international capital market? Okay, international capital market, so that means uh, GDR, global depository receipt. Okay, okay, so what will be a correct answer for this one? ADR, American depository receipt. So ADR will be correct answer for this one. Okay, so we companies, Indian companies, like suppose that Infosys, they can list their shares into NYSE, that is called through, or like in European market, Luxembourg Stock Exchange. So we will use GDR. For American market, we will use ADR or through ADRs. IPO, that can be part of this one. FCCBs, foreign currency convertible bonds, so it can be. ADR is American. Sorry, my bad. So IPO will be correct answer for this one. Yeah. IPO is initial public offering, so that is for the general public who generally want to buy the shares. American depository receipt, basically if Indian company want to invest in American market or want to list in American market like NYSE and all, like we have example of Nifty, this Infosys, okay. So Infosys, which is part of ADR or ADR, through ADRs they raise funds. They can raise fund through GDR also. They can raise through FCCB, foreign currency convertible bonds. So IPO is generally for Indian market, okay. So option D will be correct answer for this particular one. Next one, foreign trade policy, again very important one, okay. So foreign trade policy, this is again very important one. So foreign trade policy, especially the current one, okay. So foreign trade policy structured one 2015-20, which is given in this particular one, and also have some idea about the current foreign trade policies, which is again very important one, okay. Challenge, which is like 21 to 26, 2021 to 26. Then foreign trade policy, FDI, FI is in recent trend, and economic development versus economic growth. Okay, so let's practice few question. The foreign trade policy 2015-20 targeted to increase India's mercantile and service sectors by 900 billion. So option A will be correct answer. So in every foreign trade policy, now you'll get like the latest one is 2021 to 2026. First of all, go through that particular one because this book was published earlier, so they may like maybe they do not have that clarity of this particular one. Also go for the current aspect of this one also, so they may ask you in the examination, okay. So FDI from Pakistan, it is only permissible under government route, okay. So FDI through Pakistan, if any investor from Pakistan who want to invest in Indian company through a FDI route, so they have to come up with government approval route, okay. Next one, FDI limit in private banking sector, so it is 74%. In public sector bank, it is 20%, okay. For payment bank, small finance bank, again, आपका 74%. FDI in India prohibited in which of the following sectors? So there are few sectors where governments, they have prohibited कि you cannot invest in these particular areas to protect the interest of Indian investors, like chit fund, nidhi companies, or like atomic energy and all these particular one, okay. So lottery business, so what will be correct answer for this one? Lottery business, okay. In lottery business, FDI is not allowed. Which is known as hot money? So hot money is FDI, no. So none of the above. So hot money is like where investors, they generally shuffle their funds from one economy to another one. So like Chinese economy, or from Chinese economy to another economy. So these kind of things. Okay. Next one, international economic organizations. Again, you will definitely get question from this one. And I hope like being a banking aspirant, like during your banking preparation, you have gone through these particular areas. So just give your time to these particular subject where you already have some kind of understanding, and don't rely on that knowledge which you generally prepare during your entrance examinations. So here we have things in details, okay. The good thing is you have an idea about that particular thing, so with this you will be able to easily grasp that particular knowledge, okay. So here we have number of organizations like World Bank, IMF and all. IMF and World Bank, WTO, World Trade Organizations, regional economic cooperations like SAARC, BRICS, ASEAN and all, recent international economic issues. So when did India become member of IMF? So India is a founding member of IMF and it was founded in 1945. So option A will be correct answer. Which is not one of the banker of five currencies used in SDR valuations. So SDR, special drawing right, it is a virtual asset of IMF. It is created by IMF in 1969. So presently we have five currencies under this SDR basket. So these are US dollar, Chinese renminbi or yuan, it was a newly added one, okay. Then we have Japanese yen, British pound, and the fifth one is uh, this euro. Okay, so these are generally part of this currency bucket, and the maximum weightage that generally belongs to US dollar, then it is euro. Okay, so dollar is part of this, yen is part of this, Chinese and Canadian dollar is not part of this. So option B will be correct answer for this particular one. Sorry. Next question, guys. India is one of the founding member of which of the following India is not one of the founder member of which of the World Bank Group institutions. So India is not part of MEGA. Okay, remaining. So C will be correct answer. Which nation is not a member organization of OPEC? That is Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. So what will be your correct answer? Qatar. Okay. So Qatar is not part of OPEC nations. Okay. So is India a member of Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership? So your answer will be no. As of now, no. In 2019, we left that particular membership. The reason is China only. Okay. So no will be correct answer for this one. Next one, the unit 10, which is climate change, and it's a burning issue. So again, very important one. Sustainable development goals, all 17 goals are very important. They target till 2030 how we are doing the reports, what like every time now. So like in recently government of India, they generally presented their report to United Nations how we are working toward these particular sustainable development goals. So those kind of report are also very important one. Okay, so climate change, sustainable development goals, very important one. Core element of sustainable development, global issues and initiatives. India progressive. See, they have mentioned this one. India's progress in sustainable development goal, including climate change. So, like government, this Niti Aayog basically, which generally the agency who generally take care about the sustainable development goals in India, they have submitted second edition in 2021 or the review reports how India is contributing towards the achievements of these particular goals. Okay, so here we have 17 goals, and we are prior to this we have this Millennium Development Goal, which was like till 2015, 8 goals. Now 15 to 30 we have Sustainable Development Goal. Okay, CSR activities. Now which section of Companies Act 13 provide legal support to CSR activities? So what will be the correct answer? Section 135. So CSR activities was also part of this unit. Huh? So don't get confused with this question. Okay. So CSR section 135 of Companies Act 2013, which mandate companies, so they have to spend 2% of their profit or the average profit of last 3 years. Okay, so that is which is mandate under this particular section, corporate social responsibility. So as per the World Bank estimate, climate change is likely lower India's GDP by 2050 by what percentage? So what will be your correct answer for this one? 2.8%. Okay, so 2.8%. These are some datas. You have to go through these particular datas. Huh? You like in one go you can't remember these things, but when you will study now, I have gone through this particular book so many times, so that's why I remember these particular datas. Okay, which of the Indian state lead Sustainable Development Goal 2021 prepared by Niti Aayog? So in line with that world, like that United Nations, we have prepared Sustainable Development Goals, and we rate these state and union territories, and it is top by since like from last 2-3 years. The top country state is Kerala. Okay, so here it is for 2021. Even for 2022 and 23, it is topped by Kerala. Okay. Next one, India aim to achieve the target of net zero carbon emission by which year? So what will be a correct answer? 2070. Okay. So there are a number of countries like there are like some global countries or some developed nations. They have by 2050. Some organizations which like Pepsi and all, they said they'll achieve this target by 2040. Indian Railway, they said we will achieve this particular target by 2030. So if you talk about India, so it is the entire things in all, so that is 2070. No limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Centrinites recommend that by 2030 global emission should be cut by what percentage? So compared to 2010 level, so it is I guess 19 sorry, 45%. So you can just go through this question. I'm a little bit doubtful between 45% and 25%. So you can cross check this one. Last unit of module A, that is issue facing Indian economy. Again, this is very important one because here you'll have question based on the current updates and all. Okay, so issue facing Indian economy: poverty elevation, jobless growth, rising inequalities, margin and excessive pressure on resources. Then we have possible remedies and pandemic situation or post-pandemic activities. So first question, as per IMF World Economic Forum report, okay, April 22, name the world fastest growing economy. So it is India as per this report. RBI support the economic growth through, so RBI supported through demand side factors, okay, and as per planning commission estimate 2011-12, percent of population below poverty lines in rural areas is 25%. This is something related to census data, okay. As per the World Inequality Report 2022, top 10% of Indians earn 37%, 37%, yes. So 37% or 47%. Just please do cross check this one, okay? And if you cross check and if this answer is incorrect, now please do mention into the comment section. So other, like, it will help to other, okay? So this is it, I guess, okay? So guys, in this particular session, I just try to have a look about module A of Indian economy and Indian financial system subject. Okay, so we have 11 units under this particular one. We gone through the all the 11 units, their subtopics, their topics and all, and we practice questions based on Macmillan book, which is generally given in Macmillan book. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this entire session. If you like, please do mention into the comment section, and so I'll plan for the remaining module, like module B, C, D, E. Sorry, only D आपका, and even not only this one. So AFM I already did all the 3 modules. The remaining one I'll upload very soon. And for remaining like PPB and RBWM, so I'll come up with these kind of thing. And if you have some like confusion about the examination, or if you confuse about some topics related to any subject, okay, so you can mention into the comment section. So I'll come up with some strategy or the fundamental or the MCQs based on that particular topic. So that is definitely going to help you in your upcoming examination. Okay, so if you like this particular session, do share with your co-bankers and your colleagues so they can also enjoy the benefit of this session. Okay, so this is it from my side. Thank you for watching this session. Bye bye, take care all, stay tuned. Thank you.